Listen, I can guarantee you on my seat in heaven that Harriet Tubman would not sit down at a meal with Obama and Sojourner Truth, or Fannie Lou Hamer wouldn't sit down with Obama or Al Sharpton. These people, because Harriet Tubman and Fannie Lou Hamer and Sojourner Truth, and they gave their life, they risked their lives to build, to help, and to uplift, while Eric Adams, David Dinkins, Al Sharpton are selling out and destroying the culture of the Tree of Life bookstore, the Liberation bookstore, Snooki's, the Sugar Bowl, the Will Small's Paradise, Frank's, the Baby Grand, the Lenox Lounge, and the churches and the schools, and Oakley Maxwell and Wyatt Walker, and all of those people built on what Harriet Tubman and Sojourner Truth, what they sacrificed their lives, and to lift up Harlem down in the deep trenches of Georgia and in Arkansas and Mississippi and Alabama and Louisiana, that there was a light in Harlem, and people suffering in what they considered the Jim Crow South thought if I could just get to Harlem, if I can be somebody, even if I'm a shoeshine boy, if I can just get to Harlem. Ask James Brown, growing up down in Georgia and Augusta, or ask Wilson Pickett, or ask any of them that grew up in that, if they can just get to Harlem. If I can just make it, I can be somebody. Not trying to get to New York. No. If I can just get to Harlem, Little Richard, if I can just I can be somebody. And now all of what that was built on the likes of a Harriet Tubman has been sold. Al Sharpton's gotten rich on what Harriet Tubman built. My friends, it's a shame. And everybody hates me for pointing out this truth. Harriet Tubman wouldn't sit down at the table with Obama. Here's a man that believes that man can marry man. When we're trying to raise strong families, and Harlem was the light. Harlem was the light. And I try to talk to these young people. I try to tell them. They think somehow I'm some sort of ignoramus. They think I'm some sort of hater of the black man. I've not seen anything like it. But years ago, even the biggest house Negro on the plantation wouldn't sit down with the likes of an Al Sharpton. They understood that Harlem is our homeland. Harlem is our Mecca. Harlem is our flagship. If I can just get to Harlem, Chambers Brother said, I'm going uptown to Harlem. I'm going to get there if I have to take a taxi. The taxi won't take me. I'll take a train. But I'm going uptown to Harlem. Harlem is like going to heaven. I mean, what was the difference between coming up out of Mississippi, Arkansas, East Texas, Louisiana, deep Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia? What was the difference between leaving there and going to Harlem, or leaving there and going to heaven? Not much. Not much. There was not much difference between going to heaven and going to Harlem. Not much. But Sharpton and the likes of Eric Adams and David Dinkins, they sold it for less than what the Indians got. They sold it. And then they signed off on being able to run a program, run a Murphy, to tell the people, tell our daughters to become boys and tell our boys to become girls. They signed off on the program. Then they joined with the League of the people that came up here like locusts and marched against me, ran programs, encouraged judges and politicians to try to shut down our light, try to shut down our church, the way they shut down the Lennox Lounge. That's what they want to do. The way they shut down the Tree of Life bookstore, the way they shut down Mr. Michaud, the way they shut down the Liberation, the way they shut down Small's Paradise, the way they robbed the Red Rooster off of 7th Avenue and put it over here on Lennox Avenue. They want to do the same thing to me and us. And then nobody paying any attention. They're not listening. They're running around talking about Obama. I guarantee you my seat in heaven. Harriet Tubman wouldn't spit on that boy. No, sir. No, sorry. So, New York is in for another great decline in my estimation. In for another Eric Adams. The fact that nobody would run against him, I think Curtis Sliwa ran on Republicans, I don't know what Curtis was running as. But it's all over. It is all over. Listen, even how many people want to get rid of David Dinkins so bad? They voted in Giuliani. So I don't know if you can hear me, if you've been against me, if you are just too uninformed and you're not educated and you have no ethics and you really don't have the soul of a black man. You don't have that. You got the soul of a concoction of growing up among garbage cans in the Bronx. You don't know nothing about the ethics of being a man. You don't know anything at all about the struggle. You have no idea about that. All you want is somebody to give you something and make a way for you. You have no idea what it is to be a man. You have no sense about that. And you see me and you think I'm crazy. I want to talk to you. And what they're doing to our children, and what they're doing to the schools. And they're just ripping and raping and robbing as they go. And you're saying amen to that. Then you run over here from Africa. You run over here, you're barefoot in Africa, never had a pair of shoes. Came over to New York, they let you put on a pair of shoes and give you a job with a desk and an office in it. Now all of a sudden, you ain't got no sense. I mean, people said, if I can't get to heaven, let me get to Harlem. If I can't get to heaven, let me get to Harlem. Let me get to Harlem. Let me get to Harlem. If I can't get to heaven, I'll be just as good satisfied in Harlem if I can't get to heaven. And it was a heaven. It was a Mecca. Now it's a disgrace. And think about it next time. All the thoughts you've had against me for the truth. And God has sent me here. God has sent me here. I didn't come on my own. God sent me here. His name is Jesus. The Lord sent me here and told me to take it back. That's what God said. Give it a new name. ATLAH. That's what God said. And he's now appointed me as his servant. Maybe you want to join the fight to take it back. Take back the Mecca. Take back the flag. Maybe you want to stop running around here smelling these women in the pulpit, jumping up and down about a half-white, half-black politician that don't give two damns about you and never have and never will. Maybe you want to finally decide that you want to do something to glorify God. You want to do something to finally, the people that gave their sweat and their blood shining shoes, pumping gas, running elevators to build Harlem, to make it something. And now Al Sharpton got $800,000 and David Dinkins, I don't know what he got. So there'd be no gatekeeper. They came up here and there's nobody standing at the gate. There's nobody saying, no, you can't do that, except for me. And they said, let's get him, let's excoriate him, let's turn the world against him. They even had the members of the church. They turned the members of the church against me. Plotted with them to try to take me down. Set me up to try to take me down. Maybe somehow or another, during the course of Eric Adams, you will see we're getting ready to go back to the same old. No, my brother, no. No, I'm not quitting. I'm not giving up. And the Mr. Michaud and the Tree of Life bookstore, and the Liberation bookstore, and Lennox Lounge, all that's gone. All that's gone. You would think people can't, well, let's preserve the heritage, you know. Hell, I hear people talking about, you know, that the elephants are going extinct, the wild lions are going extinct, the wild boars, the owls are going extinct. Let's preserve a nature preserve for all these animals. Right? You hear them talk that talk, right? Let's have a nature. Let's preserve the spotted leopard. Let's preserve the black panther. Let's preserve this. Let's preserve that. But when these gentrifiers, these LGBTQ, these sellouts came up here to Harlem, they didn't preserve a damn thing. Not one thing did they preserve of Harriet Tubman, of Adam Clayton Powell Jr., of Oakley Maxwell, of J.P. Lasser. They didn't, Earl Moore, Dr. Hardy. They didn't preserve anything. Just tore it down. Ripped and roared like hell. Tore it all down. Tore it all down. Didn't preserve nothing. And then they had the nerve a couple of years ago to say, we're going to change the name. We don't even like the name Harlem no more. Let's change it to something else. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like y'all. Y'all black people. I've never seen nobody like y'all. This new generation that don't know Joseph, you don't know nothing about nothing. I've never seen anybody like y'all. I've never seen anything like y'all running around here talking about a boy is now a girl and a girl is now a boy. And our first black president, Pastor Mann's against our first black president. Obama's our first black president. We black people got to stick together. He's our first black president. What the hell does that mean? You're worse now than you've ever been. And he's living up there in Martha's Vineyard. And he's now back on the trail hoodwinking y'all, trying to get you to vote for that boy Terry McCullough and trying to help you, and that boy over that Phil Murphy out there in New Jersey. I've never seen anybody like y'all. Anyway, hell is coming to New York City when y'all put these Hamites back in power. But Harlem will be restored. ATLAH, that's what God said. And don't you ever forget it.